man. So we got the Tina Knowles produced, or at least she's the face for it. She's got this documentary. I think it's on Discovery, and it's talking about it's called Profile Black Men, and it stemmed from a story whereas Jay-Z, her son-in-law, was profiled on some level. White woman asked her about her son-in-law, Jay-Z, and isn't he a gangster rapper? And she said, no, he's a CEO. And yeah, so it led her to, well, I understand why she came to that conclusion, because that is how they portray our men in media and so on. And it led me to a lot of thoughts, like a lot of things that I was thinking, a lot of things that I was kind of trying to come to the conclusion. The first thing I thought is that, who's also associated with this? And then I saw an interview where it's like she was getting interviewed by Gayle King, and I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm like, okay, cool. So that means Oprah can't be too far, away from it. And, of course, Oprah on network is, of course, a part of it as well. And looking at this kind of content, and I think that, the same thing is being said by a lot of black men, and not most, but, enough black men to where I've heard it too. And I kind of came to that conclusion. It's just like, oh, yeah, you all are finally getting that. Not that, I don't believe that they believe that black men are being profiled. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe, I gotta watch the documentary because I haven't watched any of it, right? But if the premise is what they're saying the premise is, then I have to believe that they're just saying, because it's a very dated question or dated idea to say, okay, the reason that our men are having a bad go of it is because they're being profiled, or that somehow or other we're overlooking the good ones. You know what I'm saying? It's not a matter of overlooking the good ones. It's that you promote the bad ones. And not the media, the women, you all. You promote and vote for the bad ones. Y'all are not complaining about niggas y'all are not fucking. So when I hear women complain about dudes who are poor fathers, or dudes who ain't got no job, or dudes who ain't got this or got that, either you're lying, or these are the niggas that you're fucking. And I have to believe that these are the niggas that you're fucking. You're telling on yourself. So that, granted, Jay-Z turned out to be a pretty decent guy. Turned out to be a pretty good guy. But most women don't get to choose a guy who was or is a drug dealer and then have him turn into Jay-Z. Likely he turns into, the guy with a bunch of babies that goes to prison. And then what I think about when I see the people who are associated with it, it really kind of tells on itself, because, Gayle King and Oprah especially have been charged and tagged with anything you can say bad about black men. You're gonna say it. Not to say it, look, not for nothing, R. Kelly is R. Kelly. So the Gayle King interview where she's interviewing R. Kelly and he loses his mind, R. Kelly is not a great person, okay? It's okay. He's not a great person. The Kobe Bryant thing, look, if I'm to give you the benefit of the doubt on that, if it's a situation where it's just okay, cool, you asked a question, people thought it, whatever, okay, let me give you the benefit of the doubt on that. But your follow-ups have not been good either. And the same thing with Oprah. It's the Michael Jackson documentary, of which, dude is dead. You know, like it had been 10 years since he was dead, and he's still getting cases. Like, based on this documentary, it's like, that's just. And then the Russell Simmons documentary, of which she disassociated herself with that. But I mean, initially she was a part of it. And it's like, it's not to say that these guys, let's say everything that you said was right, everything that you put out was correct. The fact that that's the thing that you put out and that you don't have anything else to offset it, of which I don't expect that you do, because that's not really the point of it. Like, just be who you are. This here is a poor attempt to, like, kind of clean up that. I mean, just as one thing, because that's the first thing I thought. Like, okay, so these are the women who asked about, like, not even 2-3 weeks within a month of Kobe Bryant's death, there's an interview about his rape case that he was found not guilty on. Like, why are we doing that? Like, you know, it's just timing, you know what I mean? But okay, you did that. Let's say it was a legit question. I'll give you that. This is the same woman also who interviews R. Kelly. Look, R. Kelly's not a good person. I'm not trying to take it for R. Kelly. It just is what it is. But you are what you are. If that's what you want to do, if that's your angle, then just do that. There's nothing wrong with it. Just do that. This is either a poor attempt to clean up you all's image, giving it back to all the information that has been coming from the space, which I think that's hitting mainstream, because a lot of these things that are coming out are showing that, again, 53% of black men don't have kids. We keep repeating that so that you understand, like, most dudes is not a part of this nonsense. 33% of black men are married. Most of those do have kids. 60% of black men are in prison. There are more black men in schools, universities, and colleges than in prison. 60% of black men are in the middle class or higher. 10% of black men are over $100,000. Black men are considered to be the most involved fathers. This is really speaking to, you have a lot of options. And the fact that you all are still complaining, and Mary J. Blige can't find a good man, and Taraji P. Henson is still single, and Lizzo is crying on TikTok every day. And I've seen an influx of women crying on TikTok talking about they can't find a man and this, that, and the third. It's just getting to a point where it's just like, well, what did y'all expect? Niggas have checked out from y'all. And not like checked out in the sense of like, oh, we're just gonna be single for the rest of our life. No, just like, nah, I'll hold off. You know, niggas have checked out on y'all. You know, there's some good women out here, and, you know, but I think that what's happening is that all the information from the space, thanks to, you know, the good brother St. Kevin, you know, all the information and all of the, and not just information with regards to stats, but just the testimonies of women. Like, the good thing about that show, Kevin Samuel's show, is that he lets women talk. He cuts women off. No, he doesn't. He lets women talk, and they tell the truth. They tell their truth, and I believe them. I believe that they want a man that's the best dude in the world. I believe that they got pregnant because they wanted the baby and they didn't want the guy. I believe that they had all these wedding proposals, these marriage proposals, and they just said no. I believe them. I believe them because they're speaking candidly. I believe them. But if all that information is true, if all those experiences are true, when you put them all together, it speaks to women just being reckless with their power of choice. And so, bringing it back to this documentary, I think that what they have to do and what people have to do is, because, you know, there's a whole BLM kind of feel to it. I think that somebody's associated with it. Again, got to do more research. You know what I'm saying? You know, this really ain't about research. This part really ain't about research. But, you know, you do know that the Democrats are kind of fucking up right now. You know what I'm saying? At least you know that. You know what I'm saying? You know, crack pipes are being purchased. People are reneging on the money that they said they was going to give black women. Whatever. You know, nothing big. Just, you know, just big shit. You know what I'm saying? But the problem that's going on, and is persisting, is that they have to now clean some of this shit up. And I'm looking at this documentary, at least on its face, what it says it's supposed to represent. And I'm like, this ain't enough. Because I know what they're not going to do. What they're not going to do is say, yeah, black women have been fucking up. You know what I'm saying? And really, because this is the thing. You would think that black men being profiled, you know what I'm saying, or being given such a bad rap for a lot of things, you would think that black women really, really thought that. But I don't think they think that. I think they actually believe that we're all these things. It is just believe it. When, you know, bad fathers, whatever. Like, when you, like, the bad father thing was something that they said, and I saw the interview. Black men are bad fathers. You know what I'm saying? They actually love their kids and love their women. Well, that, black women don't believe that. Black women don't believe, like, overall, black women don't believe that. They believe that their outcomes and their, in my experience, which is just idiocy. You know what I'm saying? In their experience, niggas ain't shit. Their baby daddy ain't shit, so niggas ain't shit. The nigga they fucked last week ain't shit, so niggas ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? That's what they believe. They actually believe that. So that this ain't enough. Because they're not going to say like the idea that black men are bad fathers. Well, it plays out not just in the media, because again, the difference between black women having a bad reputation and black men having a bad reputation is that it's dangerous for us to have a bad reputation. It's dangerous. Like, it's literally dangerous. Like people hurt us based on our reputation. They shoot us on TV. You know, so that when we're portrayed as gangsters and thugs, and, you know, the taller and more dark skinned you are, the more dangerous and volatile you present, that's dangerous for me. I'm a taller black guy, and I'm darker. Like, that's dangerous for me. I've been pulled out my car before. That shit wasn't fun. It was scary as shit. But I don't believe that they think something different. You know, maybe I could be wrong, you know, because you do get women who say, nah, that's some bullshit, like, you know, whatever. But, like, for the most part, when women are upset, of which you really know how a woman feel about you when she's upset, let her talk. You know, let her talk. The problem is, I don't really believe that they believe that. Even Tina Knowles. Like, I don't think that Tina Knowles believes something different about black men. I don't believe that Tina Knowles believes something different. Certainly not Gayle King. Certainly not Oprah Winfrey. And it smells of, what are you trying to do? And in the space, people are speculating what it is that they're trying to do. And really, I think that when we see the documentary, we'll know what they're trying to do. Because they got, like, Billy Porter in there. Of which, like, let's be real. You know, you got Billy Porter in there. It's an openly gay man or whatever. You know, whatever. But, like, it's like, I don't understand why, like, the kind of men they're going to have in there as well is going to be a tell as well. You know? Like, what are you trying to do? Because I know that women don't believe none of this shit. They don't believe that that black men are just good fathers. They don't believe black men are good people. They don't believe that we're educated. They don't believe that we're decent human beings. And I'm not saying that they believe that we're stabbing people, but I think that they, like, yeah, some of this shit is true, and it's true to the point where I can say it out loud. The bad father thing really stuck out to me because 90% of custody here is going in favor of women. If they didn't believe that, they wouldn't be fighting. Like, I have to believe their actions. There's another angle that I was thinking about as well, and it's like with Tina Knowles, you know, it's one episode, you know how to use, you know, if you see this on YouTube, I use the thumbnail of her and Richard Lawson in the interview where she you know, nut checked the nigga, you know, and you know she unfairly nut checked him, you know. It would have been nice if she didn't do that. You said it would have been nice if she didn't do it. If I try to put the interview in the description when I put it on YouTube, but she unfairly nut checked him, and you know, you wish that she really didn't do that because it really wasn't necessary at a certain point, you know. But I don't know if this is one of those things where she is not trying to necessarily do damage control, because I don't think she needs it. She's not really a celebrity like that. I mean, she's really just Beyonce's mom. So I don't think she needs to do anything necessarily to be like, because I listened to her in the interview, and it's the same 1993 talking points of, you know, they just think that we're just gangsters and thugs. And it's just like, no, that's not what they actually don't. Like, I think that at this point, white people thinking that we're gangsters and thugs is not really the issue. You know what I mean? And I think that she's gotten wind, like most women have gotten wind, of a lot of the stuff permeating in the space. That's how you know that all of the black manosphere, all that stuff is made. Like, Obsidian had an interview in Elle magazine. You know what I'm saying? They did another profile it'll come back to me. But the interview with Kevin Samuels, with Brittany Renner and Nicki Minaj, and Nicki Minaj got like how many millions of followers and stuff. And I mean, and she also is Nicki Minaj. Like, I think that a lot of people have got to see this shit, and they're doing deep dives. And some of the shit is extreme. You do get men that just say, bitches ain't shit. Bitches is black women are the most horrible people in the world. But then you get motherfuckers who have common sense and can just articulate it very well. And not say women ain't shit, but certainly address the issues, you know, from a logical standpoint, and really just give it to you. And a lot of, look, they tell you that the space is a bunch of dudes who are incels, who ain't getting no pussy, and they're mad at women because they can't get a woman. Dudes, you can't complain about women that don't exist in your life. It's hard to complain about women that don't exist in your life. You know what I'm saying? Everybody ain't lying. You know, everybody ain't lying. And with the Tina Knowles thing, with the documentary, this is just not enough. It's just not enough. I don't know if they're trying to, again, because I know it's going to be so whitewashed that it just doesn't make any sense. But, like, this is just not enough. You know? There's a petition going around because women are, you know, this is just black male worship, and they don't really appreciate it. I think the petition is like at 7,500 almost. It's like at 72, I think. They're trying to get to 7,500 so that they can present it to own network or Discovery Channel, you know, whatever. And it's like, you know, the first thing that came to my head is like, man, we can't have shit even when we don't have shit. Like, this ain't even ours. There's a bunch of women actually doing it, of which this is not a good gesture, by the way. This doesn't say, well, see, we made a documentary for you. It's like, man, like, you ain't make the documentary and tell the truth about y'all. Because really, like, the documentary would be something if you told the truth about y'all. Like, if you said, yeah, we're kind of unjust. Because really, this is where I was going with the whole thing. Black women are our biggest number one character witness. And so that our women saying the things that they say about us publicly is really the reason a lot of this shit sticks. You know, there was a run of you know, it was a talking point that the reason that black women can't find any good black men is because they're all in prison or they're on the down low. That was really like a talking point, you know, and it existed. And it's just like, as a black man or a black boy at the time, I'm just like, well, how? I'm like, that what? How does that make sense? You know what I mean? How does that make sense? That everybody, dudes is just on the down low or in jail? I'm around black men all the time. What's that mean? How does that make sense? I can't find a man on my level. All that shit, like, that was really y'all's doing. Now, look, as for why y'all did it, I mean, it's, you know, it could be sexual politics. It could be somebody feeding you the answers. It could be that's your observable reality. It could be a number of reasons, but you said it. You know, you said it enough to where those were talking points. Those things made magazines. Your Essence, your Ebony, your Rolanda, your Donahues, your Sally Jesse Raphael's. Those talking points made it to TV. Even it made it to TV. It made it to Tyler Perry movies, Will Packer movies, and so on and so forth. Those talking points made it to movies. You know what I'm saying? That really exists today as well. Like, I haven't seen the documentary, but I can't imagine that because it can only go so far, because eventually you have to tell the truth about our women. That has not been told. It just doesn't get told. There are no movies talking about, you know, family court. As it actually is. 90% of custody is going in favor of the women. You think 90% of niggas are just fucked up? No. But they won't tell that truth. You'll say black men are good fathers, but you won't say why we get the bad rap. You know what I'm saying? You'll say black men are not just gangsters and thugs, but you won't say why that even exists. It's because you're sexually validating those niggas. You're fucking them. You're actually sexually validating these niggas. You know what I'm saying? You got Chloe Bailey walking around right now with a rapper. I'm not saying she shouldn't be happy. If that's what makes you happy, baby, that's all I'm, I predicted it, I think, and I'll say the tweet. I'm going to go back, and I'm going to start a tweet. Because I said it before she ever was dating this nigga. I know what's going to happen. I'm not a fucking idiot. You know what I'm saying? I saw that coming immediately. I'm like, some rapper's going to get her pregnant and it's going to ruin her life. I promise you. I predicted it. And I'm going to go back and I'm going to put that tweet and I'm going to do 70 shows based on that. That's what I'm going to do. You know what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, that's going to be the next one. The next one I'm going to do I'm going to do the pre-victory lap. And not victory as in I wanted it to happen to her, but like that's what's going to happen. She's going to get pregnant and she's going to have it. And she's going to say, well, and then they're going to break up. She's going to get pregnant by some rapper and fuck up her life. And she's not going to get the Sierra package. She's not going to get the Sierra package. Because the Sierra package happened. That's lightning struck once, bitch. It's not going to strike again. It's not going to strike again. I'm sure there are a bunch of decent human beings that want to be with her. I got to believe that she knows better. But if she doesn't, that's fine. She'll suffer that consequence. And that'll be another L for y'all. Because y'all should be pushing her to be girl next door. Because girl next door is what fits. And that gets her more money. That gets her more money. That keeps her safe. That allows her to be in Beyonce's stratosphere. Because you can't be in Beyonce's stratosphere doing this whole shit. Because this whole shit has a limit. It has a cap. Neither here nor there. They have to start talking about the reasons that we get profiled. That's why I know that this documentary is going to be a whitewashed, you know what I'm saying, fluff piece. It's going to be a whitewashed fluff piece. It's not going to go further than these things are happening and it's the man. It's, like I haven't used the word on this platform before because I always want to be careful with the word, with using the word, but gynocracy. Like we live in a, we don't live in a matriarchy, we don't live in a patriarchy, obviously, we live in a gynocracy. Whereas the women are over the men. And the gynocracy is, controlled by white supremacy and it's managed by black women. And as an observer, a person that's in it, because I'm actually in it, but as a person who's looking and paying attention, that's pretty accurate. But they won't say it. And it's not like then you make your own documentaries. Men are making documentaries. A lot of stuff is happening on the ground. A lot of really, really good things. Like I said, a guy like Kevin Samuels shouldn't be able to break through if a lot of good things weren't happening. But this documentary ain't it. It's probably not gonna be it. I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna get into it. I'm gonna give it a chance. Just give it a chance. All right, I'll give it a chance. But I don't think it's gonna be what it needs to be. I think that what's gonna happen is it's gonna be a fluff piece. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be something that you could have. It's gonna be something probably that you could have played 30 years ago, and it would have been the same thing. I think it's going to be an outdated 1997 fluff piece. That's what I think it's going to be. Something that you could have played in 1997. Right after, Pac and Big died. It's going to be one of those things. And it's like, yeah, this ain't what we needed. And then somebody also brought the point that it's Women's Month. It's Black History Month this month. But it's Women's Month next month. Which that's like, oh, okay, I get it, because they about to go crazy next month. This month, we'll give you a little bit. It'll sprinkle you with a little something. But next month, they about to go crazy. With the documentaries and women's empowerment and things of that nature. So they also brought up that point. I just think it's odd timing as well. You know what I'm saying? Odd timing. I wonder how well it's put together. I can imagine that it at least had to been being created for the past 2 years. You know what I'm saying? Or at least a year. And the people that are associated with it, you got Sway. You know what I mean? That's associated with it, which. Again, Sway is not a bad person. I mean, I don't know Sway, obviously, but I don't think Sway is a bad person. It's just, it's very telling the guys that they pick. The men that they pick. It's very, very telling the men that they pick. To kind of, be the faces of this thing. Even the idea of Tina Knowles being at the forefront is really just telling. But. I'll check it out. You know what I'm saying? I'll put both of the interviews, the interview with Tina Knowles and Gayle King, and also when Tina Knowles nut checked Richard Lawson, her husband. Which, it's crazy to me. I guess she's earned the name Tina Knowles-Lawson. I keep calling her Tina Knowles, which is totally disrespectful. I'm confused on why her name is hyphenated as Knowles-Lawson, because Knowles is obviously not her maiden name. It's obviously her ex-husband's name, Matthew Knowles. Another nut check, you would say it, if you will. I don't know. That's I don't know. Is this y'all queen? Oh my goodness, but it's all good, man. Just comment, subscribe, do what you do. All right, later on.